we could have located the fictitious planet 9. We had a pretty solid hypothesis that described a lot of things prior to the 20th century. It clarified how the planets move around the Sun. More specifically, it described why planets travel in an elliptical pattern. The Newtonian theory was this. It demonstrated, among other things, that people can fly airplanes. It also implied that a feather and an apple fall through space at the same velocity of 9.81 meters per second squared. But then, one day, it was discovered that this idea was just a little off. This is due to Einstein's Beta 1, which includes a developed version of Newton's theory. Amazingly, Einstein had a gift. The general relativity theory, which underlies it, is the most accurate theory of gravitation that we currently possess. It is extremely accurate, anticipates intricate behaviors of astronomical objects, and fits facts. For instance, adding a perturbation was the only explanation when astronomers discovered that Mercury's orbit was preceding, which means that their measurements of Mercury's orbit time were incompatible with Newton's rule. They believed that Mercury's orbit should have been disturbed by something, perhaps a planet, using its gravitational effect. This new potential planet in the solar system was being sought after by astronomers from all around the world, and it was given the name Planet 9. However, no proof of Planet 9 was discovered. As opposed to Newton's idea, it is discovered that the mismatched period of Mercury may be quickly recovered using general relativity. Simply said, there was no Planet 9, therefore they couldn't find one. As of right now, we always account for general relativity in order to have accurate statistics. And yet, something continues to be mysterious. For instance, it has been discovered that some trans-Neptunian objects have extremely strange orbits. How come? Some scientists have rediscovered Planet 9 as a possible explanation for this, and they believe there may be one. Is there a Planet 9 in reality? To learn more about it, watch this video with me. We believe we may have discovered the first contender for Planet 9, although we are not entirely certain. It is, of course, located someplace in the solar system, and if it were real, our family would gain a new member. Michael Rowan Robinson, the scientist who says he may have discovered Planet 9, is a very wise astronomer because he chose to use the data from the IRAS survey. Its full name is Infrared Astronomical Satellite, IRAS, and the US, UK, and Netherlands collaborated on its development. In the infrared domain, or, to put it another way, the red portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, the IRAS mission conducted an objective, sensitive all-sky survey at 12, 25, 60, and 100 m. Even though the survey is quite ancient, astronomers from all over the world still value it much since it is a source of crucial information on far-off objects like galaxies and distant stars. IRAS discovered over 350,000 infrared sources, increasing the number of astronomical sources that have been catalogued by almost 70%. A disk of dust particles surrounding the star Vega, 6 new comets, very intense infrared emission from colliding galaxies, and wisps of heated dust known as infrared cirrus that could be seen in practically every direction of space were also discovered by IRAS. The Milky Way's core was also made public for the first time by IRAS. The finding of a ring of cosmic dust encircling the solar system at a distance of roughly 15 billion kilometers is one of the results that have been confirmed. The sky was then watched, and it was possible to look for moving objects. Thus, 3 asteroids, comets, and in particular a significant dust tail connected with Comet Tempel. 2 have been found by Jack Meadows and colleagues. Why did Robinson decide to search the IRAS data for signs of Planet 9? Because he is a smart guy, is the response. But allow me to clarify for you. The far-off objects, known as TNOS or trans-Neptunian objects, began to be found by numerous scientists a few years ago. Maybe you've heard of them already. Just 3 of them are Eris, Haumea, and Sedna. It's intriguing that some of them appear to have had quite strange orbits, with distinct inclinations and odd behaviors. It appears as though something is pulling at them and applying pressure to them from a faraway part of the solar system. Because of this, scientists have begun to consider the possibility of a ninth hidden planet, a hidden object that is not very large, and is most likely placed away enough to have an impact on the orbits of trans-Neptunian objects. Due to the fact that just a small percentage of them were acting strangely, this theory was still unsound. However, many more of these TNOS have been found in the previous 6 to 7 years, and some of their orbits did not actually fit what we had anticipated. There have been some alternate theories put out to explain Planet 9. Shortly after, several scientists hypothesized that perhaps our search for these objects and our pinpointing of their locations is biased. In other words, the scientific world was still much divided on the existence of Planet 9, and its existence had begun to be somewhat questioned. But then this wise guy showed up. He is an astronomer, astrophysicist, and professor of astrophysics at Imperial College London. He was born in 1942. Prior until May 2007, he was the group's leader, and between 1981 and 1982, he served as the Gresham Professor of Astronomy. The 2008 Hoyle Medal was given to Rowan Robinson by the Institute of Physics in recognition of his work in observational cosmology, infrared and submillimeter astronomy. He examined the information gathered in 1983 by the Infrared Astronomy Satellite. He appears to have discovered 3-point sources, one of which might be Planet 9. In his conclusion, he notes that while it is actually doubtful that this was a genuine discovery, the possibility does imply that it may be used to simulate the planet's current location in order to perform a more focused search in the effort to confirm or disprove its existence. The study's biggest problem is that the IRAS data are a little outdated. In comparison to the observations we can access now, IRAS's observations are of lower quality because it utilized the very first infrared technologies. According to his research, the probability of the candidate being real is not overwhelming given the poor quality of the IRAS detections, towards the very end of the survey, and in a very problematic portion of the sky for far infrared detections. It might be useful to investigate whether an object with the proposed parameters, and in the indicated region of the sky is inconsistent with the planetary ephemerides, considering the widespread interest in the Planet 9 idea. However, the question today is, there have been numerous recent surveys that have searched the night sky. Why did he select a worn-out, subpar one? Because IRAS data was one of the most significant data sources in recent decades, he decided to look through it. First of all, it was the first space telescope to conduct an infrared study of the entire night sky. However, it also found other infrared objects that nobody could have predicted at first. For instance, while it was operating, it discovered multiple infrared radiation sources coming from various stars, but when scientists searched for those same sources using the Hubble Space Telescope or numerous other more powerful telescopes, they discovered nothing. Therefore, at first, it was believed that IRAS had made a mistake. Perhaps there was a problem with the telescope. It was discovered, however, that IRAS was actually picking up infrared radiation from protoplanetary disks that were growing around stars like Vega. This wasn't found until 2014, when powerful telescopes like the Spitzer telescope were used. Therefore, while using outdated technologies, IRAS was around 30 years ahead. In order to discover the ideal candidate for Planet 9, Rowan Robinson looked through all the IRAS data, performing some calculations and developing some incredible sets of algorithms. I'm sure it was a really difficult task, but in the end, he came to the conclusion that we might have one. Only 3 of the roughly 250,000 point sources the satellite found are interesting as potential candidates for Planet 9. The satellite detected what looks to be an object traveling across the sky in June, July, and September of 1983. By far, it's hardly a foregone conclusion. The source's apparent location in the sky lies at low galactic latitude, or close to the galaxy's plane, and is heavily influenced by galactic cirrus, or filamentary clouds that emit far infrared light. Therefore, the sources could be these clouds' noise. We can infer some facts about Planet 9 if we take the candidate to be real. At an orbital distance of about 225 astronomical units, it would have a mass that is between 3 and 5 times that of the Earth. to determine whether such an object is consistent with the ephemerides of other solar system objects, and whether it can explain the grouping of the orbits of Kuiper Belt dwarf planets. Dynamical investigations are required. Writer Rowan Robinson. Direct identification of a ninth planet, whose existence has not yet been established, would mark the first new planet to be discovered in the solar system in 200 years. But so far, it has been difficult to identify. The creator of the 2015 Planet 9 model, Caltech astronomer Mike Brown, said on Twitter that this may not be the planet they had initially hypothesized after the publication of the most current research. So what comes next? We must conduct follow-up research, as Rowan Robinson suggested. This finding is still in its early stages, albeit it may be remarkable. For instance, we must use the new, powerful telescopes to survey that region of the sky. We might also require additional proof of Planet 9 from various writers and investigations. In order to prove or deny the existence of the planet, new proof would be highly helpful. Here's where the video ends. Thank you everybody for watching.